Okay, let's begin.
Yes.
First, let's talk about your hometown. So could you describe your hometown for me?
Yes, I'm from China, and my hometown is the middle city of China, and it is close to a big river, the biggest river, and a Yellow River, and also our hometown is like a basin, and it has a clearly like 4 seasons. It's really good to live.
Okay. And is there anything you dislike about your hometown?
To be honest, as young people, we would like to have more fun in our hometown. But everything in there is really for good for old people. We don't have a fancy park here there, and also a restaurant or a museum or some of the other facilities. Yeah.
And what do you like to do when you have some free time?
Mostly, I just watch YouTubes or some of the others. For example, if I watch English TV drama or some of the others, I could learn something new like English or Korea.
Okay. Now we're going to talk about singing. So do you like singing?
Not really. I think my sing is kind of worse actually. So if I don't like someone or I would like to show what is the shortage of myself, and I would like to sing to someone. Yeah.
Okay. And have you ever learned how to sing?
I don't think so, but I learned how to play piano, but I think I'm really not good at it. So the others could learn a song in a really short time, in the beginning, but for me it's really hard.
Okay. And do you think singing can bring happiness to people?
I don't think so. Music could help you relax, and also when you sing a song could help you release the stress.
Okay. And is singing popular in your country?
Well, it's hard to say. So for some people who likes to sing, I think it's a really good way, but for me it's really hard. So I couldn't represent all of them. I think just a kind of, yeah.
Okay. And now we're going to talk about puzzles. So did you do puzzles in your childhood?
Yes, I did it. My dad used to bought me a lot of gifts or toys that's good for my brain. It's kind of you get touched with some of the other toys, and a puzzle was one of it, and also chess or I think it's not a puzzle, but kind of you could made it together and you got a barely new toy.
Okay. And do you like doing word puzzles or number puzzles? And which one is more difficult for you?
I don't know, is that it belongs to the word or number, but we don't have something like your family picture and you made it like a puzzle, and you could get clues and based on the appearance of your family members. So my dad bought me this kind of. So maybe they do have some words on it, but not that much.
Okay,
yeah.
Perfect. And do you think it is good for old people to do puzzles?
I think so. So it's good for your memory and also the other part of your brain. Like my grandpa, and he often play chess and a puzzle, and also poker. Yeah.
Okay. All right, that will do for part 1. Now we can move on to part 2. All right, so let me give you your question. Okay, so there is your question. I'll give you a pencil there as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'll give you 1 minute to take some notes, okay? You can begin. All right, Hannah, that's 1 minute now.
Yeah.
Okay, so question is today, could you describe a popular place for sports that you have been to?
Yes. And I think 2 years ago, I was quite overweight and I signed myself for a gym. So I just followed class that at gym, for example, the dancing or gymnastic or some of the others. And I often do the running. And also I have like sometimes I will pair up with my friends and do like some of the other exercise, but not really heavy. And also I will like try to follow like the video from YouTube, or like in China we have a app called a Red Book, and they have some fancy dance, and I could do it by myself. So that's really helpful. And sometimes they do have like the free classes, and you could follow the like it's kind of like the coach, but not a like only have a plan for yourself, and we just do it together. And mostly I think like the gym stuff didn't help me that much about lose weight, so I have to manage the diet and also match with the plan, like the exercise plan I saw from the video. So after like for 1 month training, I think I barely changed about the way and also how do I look. So I decide to buy some like training classes, and after that it's really work. It's work on me, and I lost like 10 pounds. But every time when I get there, I feel really exhausted, and I hope I could finish that as soon as I can.
Okay, that's 2 minutes now. Thank you very much. So did you enjoy exercise when you were a child?
No.
No.
Yeah, so I prefer something like I could read a book, and or like I could watch TV or something others. Exercise is kind of too much for me.
Okay. All right, let's move on to part 3 now. Okay. So, do young people in your country like to play sports?
Now I think they like to do sports. So for example, they would like to ride scooters, and also Chinese Kung Fu or Taekwondo is kind of popular in our hometown. Yeah.
Why do you think so? Why do you think it's popular?
Because like I could say the public like performance, they do it on the like a square, and also their grandpa would like to do like a square dance, which is really famous in China. So I could say both. Yeah. So that's why I think it's kind of popular.
And for children, what are the benefits of playing sports?
It makes their body stronger, and also I think sports or exercise could help them focus on study and also more concentrate.
And how can sports help students concentrate on study?
For example, like my younger brother used to learn Taekwondo, and I think he has a stronger body than me, and also if like you do more exercise when you get a hard time, it could help you practice your willpower, and then even when you do something you feel really hard, but you will like keep doing on it. Yeah.
Okay. And why do some people prefer to watch sports on TV rather than going to the stadium?
Watch TV, I think is kind of like a culture. And when I was young, I don't get a lot of the suggestion or guidance for me to to do more exercise, to go out or have fun with your friends. But for the Western country, parents will take their kids to do skiing or skating or something others, and I think it is one of the reason. And when they're getting older, and they would like to have a try, and even they really interested in some sports, and then just watch it, and because they don't know how to do it, so that's why they don't go to the studio. Yeah.
Okay. And do you think it's necessary for governments to build more public sports facilities?
I don't think so. There is a new like sports facility in my hometown, and which could support for swimming, and also badminton, ping pong, some of the other like popular sports in China. And a lot of people sign for the class in that facility, and also some of the others will like invite friends to make a team play badminton there. Yeah.
Yes, yes, indeed. And in terms of individual sports, what do you think are the biggest advantages of playing individual sports?
If that is individual for like the team work, so I could give you an example like soccer. They don't know how to work with each other, and they have to make their own strategy to win the game. So compare with the like an individual game, like the team or some of the others, and pair up together, and it's like kind of practice your teamwork ability or some of the other like communication.
Okay. And our last question today: do you think athletes get paid too much money?
I think so, but it's really worth it. They work for they work as a athletes and also like a celebrity. So they work for different fields. So I think the pay that's worth. Yeah.
Okay. All right, that'll do us. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So yeah, let's talk about the test and give you some feedback about it. I would estimate your score to be 6.5 today. I think it was really good test. Strong point is definitely fluency. You never hesitated, I think, the whole test. So I think that was really strong. Fluency was good. When it comes to some with pronunciation, sometimes I don't think we're pronouncing the whole word. We're kind of squeezing it together a little bit. For example, like beginning, I can hear it like kind of merge into like 2 syllables. Yeah, or for example, represent. So I know fluency is important, but make sure as well that we try to pronounce everything clearly as much as we can. Yeah, we can practice that. In terms of vocab, you used a lot of good vocabulary, some good phrasal verbs as well. You pair up with your friends, you signed up for a gym. These are strong and these are good. We go through some grammar errors now. I'll just point out a few to you. When you talked about your city, you said everything in there is for older people. So we shouldn't say in there, we should just say there, everything there. So when you talk about a city, if you use the city name, you can say in, like in Seoul or in Busan. But when we use the pronoun, we just say everything there. In part 1 as well, when I was talking about your like singing, you were using could. I could learn, or I could represent, or I couldn't represent. So I would say use the present tense there. I can learn this. I can't represent everyone. One time, my singing is kind of worse. So when we say worse, we want to compare with something else. So you can say my singing is not good. It's terrible. It's worse than most people. We could say that. In part two. Again, fluency was strong. Sometimes you were saying, I will pair up and I will do that. So I heard sometimes future tense plus past tense, right? So if we look at the question, you know, it's all past tense, like when you went there, what you did there, how you felt about the place. Yeah, so let's make sure it's all in the past tense. Yeah. Okay. Some good expressions as well. When I give you one question, you answered with like, it's hard to say, it's a difficult answer. I think that was nice. Good expression. One question in part 3, I think there was misunderstanding. I asked, why do people like to watch sports on TV rather than going to stadiums? I think you heard studio, did you? I think that was it. Yeah, right. So it was more like, why do people like to watch sports on their TV rather than going to the sports stadium and watching live? So there's a little bit of confusion there, but that's a small thing. And at the end, when you talk about athletes, you said it is really worth it. It is really worth it. I think a better expression would be they deserve it. They deserve it. And we want to try and give clear reasons as well. For example, they deserve it because their career is very short and they've trained really hard to get there. So yeah, a few things, but really good test overall. So thank you for coming in.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.